the Towers of Light series, there are 3 characters that are like, they represent my kids' stuffed animals when they were little, right?
Sure.
Well, now Meow Meow has his own story. He has a stuffy, and then he has an audiobook player that comes with it.
Okay.
And so you can get that all together so your child can hear the story. You know, Meow Meow can read the story to you.
Yeah.
And so the goal is to have one for each of those the 3 characters in the series. So we've got, we'll have Daddy Duck Saves Cluck, and Sparkle Frog is going to do something. We haven't figured that out yet. But God willing, in September, we're going to do initial planning and storyboarding. Because I didn't realize how hard picture books are. Like, a novel's a totally different thing than a picture book.
Yeah.
And the storyboarding process is a big deal. So we're gonna do that. So God willing, over the next, say, 3 years, we'll have all 3 books complete.
Well, not to get too much into the weeds, but this is fascinating when you talk about taking, and you had those 3 characters, and they were in the Towers of Light series. They didn't quite make the cut, if you will. Is that
well, those characters are in the story, but
they're still there.
This
Okay.
chapter didn't make it.
Okay.
Essentially, this chapter, and it's a sweet little story about how the kitten Meow Meow helps Lauren milk the cow. The purpose of the story is really to say that in God's world, even the least of us can do big things, right?
Yeah.
David was the least of the
right.
of the children of Jesse, and he did mighty things. And so that's kind of what I know a lot of young children struggle with that. I'm too little. I remember saying it myself, right? And so it's just trying to encourage those children that feel too little that they can do big things too.
And so therefore, just give us a bit about the challenges that you face as far as storyboarding a book like this. Obviously, you're providing the words. You have an illustrator. How does that all come together?
Well, it's really kind of tricky because this started as a about 2,500 word chapter in a book.
Wow.
Okay, and so those words have to get whittled down to 800 words. Because basically a standard picture book's about 32 pages and so many. It's a whole formula.
Right,
I don't know the rules. I just follow them. Right? Like I don't
That's
know
right.
what they are.
Yeah, you provide the words.
Yes. So actually, I worked with another picture book author, Pam Halter, to help me do that part because I just didn't know what. Because the big thing that you pull out is the description of the scene. Right, like you're basically using actions and emotions in what you're writing because you can see the scene on the page. So that was the first part. Once I had that, then it turned into, in my own head, roughly taking those words and saying, well, these words should go on a page, and then this, and then sitting down with the storyboard artist to actually get her concepts of what does that look like, right? And some of it's a little back and forth where I might even sketch a little bit to say, here, do something like this, but, make it good because I draw stick figures.
Right. So that's Meow Meow Milks the Cow, the first, hopefully, in a series of 3 books based on these characters. All right, let's talk a bit about some other projects that you're involved in. There's another called Logan versus the Hateful Strawberries.
Yeah.
Now, do tell.
Yeah. So again, going back to what are people asking me for? People are asking me, what do you have for my boys?
Yeah.
And what do you have for my boy that's a struggling reader? And so one of the things is there's this concept of like a first, second grade early reader, right? About 100 pages.
Yeah.
Quick, easy book. There's stories out there like the Goosebumps or Iggy and Oz, or there's a lot of stories out there that are about that size. So I wanted to do something like that, but I also spent a lot of time in youth ministry with kids on the spectrum somewhere, whether it was autism, ADHD, any number of behaviors. And I just found that church is hard for those kids. Because this idea that we're going to come into a room and just sit there for 45 minutes and hear somebody tell us something, it's just really hard for those kids. And so, I've been in, teachers up there giving a lesson, seeing kids eating a styrofoam cup because they don't have anything else to do. So I wanted to take a boy like that and give him a story of sort of his faith journey. And so Logan versus Hateful Strawberries, all of this stuff is set on the frontier, so think like 1860s, Midwest, frontier life. And Logan and his buddy Aiden, and Logan's a character from the Towers of Light series also, they run into this patch of evil strawberries. And so the story goes on then to walk through his journey of, how to deal with this problem of these strawberries.